Deductions to be made from gross total income for resident individual. Income Tax Act 1961. Lesson 14. Deductions to be made from gross total income for resident individual. Good morning, everybody. I am Mr. T.B. Agrawal, retired income tax officer, speaking from Agrawal Income Tax Tuition Classes, Akola. For the BCom Part 2 Semester 4 and BBA Part 2 Semester 3 in our university, we have completed the course of Unit 1, Unit 2 and also part of Unit 3 of this course. Now we will turn towards the course and study of part of Unit 3 of BCom Part 2 Semester 4 and Unit 5 of BBA Part 2 Semester 3, which is about deductions to be made from gross total income of residential individual assessee. We know that there is a chapter 3 by heading incomes which do not form part of total income and chapter 6a about deductions to be made in computing total income in the Income Tax Act 1961. These are two chapters, but each chapter is having some sections under which different types of exemptions from total income and deductions from total income are allowable. We have already studied the items of income which are exempt or which do not form part of total income in lesson 2 of our video. These are exempt under section 10 of the Act. So now it is not necessary to repeat the same. The difference between exemption and deduction is that where the income is totally not to be included in total income for taxation, it is called as income exempt. But where the income is considered or included in total income for taxation, but from which certain kinds of deductions are to be allowed as prescribed under the various sections of deductions, it is called deduction from total income. This means that the income forms part of total income, but it is reduced by the deductions by deducting certain amount as allowable under the Act. Exempted incomes are out of the ambit of taxation, whereas deductions are made from the income covered under the taxable income. The deductions from total income are provided in Chapter 6A under Section 80A to 80U. There are about 56 sections in this chapter from Section 80A to 80U. Here we see that there are provisions for deduction in about 17 sections for individuals from their total income. There are some deductions to be made from total income for payments made by the assessee from his income under Section 80C. There are also deductions to be made from investments made by the assessee from his total income under Section 80CCA, 80CCB, 80CCC, 80CCD, etc. However, deductions under Section 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD shall be limited to Rs 1,50,000 only as per the limit prescribed under Section 80CCE of the Act. Further, there are some deductions on making or incurring certain expenditure on medical treatments, etc. Section 80D and Section 80DD, etc. There are also deductions on payments on interest on loans taken for pursuing higher education. Section 80E. There are also deductions for interest paid on borrowed amounts for building residential house property under Section 80EE, 80EA and 80EB. Some deductions at 100% and some at 50% are also allowable for donations to certain funds or charitable institutions under Section 80G. Under Section 80GA, deductions are allowable for donations for some specific purposes in respect of companies also. There are deductions for certain business incomes also. Further, there are separate deductions in respect of cooperative societies engaged in specific activities. Thus, we see that there are general deductions, deductions on making certain investments, and deductions on incurring certain expenditure, and also fourth, deductions from income from specific business activities, etc. However, we have to concentrate on general deductions allowable for individuals in the course of study. If we go on discussing each item of deduction, then there will be a book on this chapter which is not expected to be gone through by the students for the purpose of their examination in this year. The students are required to write short notes on few common deductions bearing 5 marks for each note. So the explanation and mentioned here will be sufficient for that purpose. From the previous question papers, it is seen that the students are asked questions on deductions under section 80C, 80D, 80G, 80TT and 80CCG, which are in respect of individual assesses. They can be discussed and explained as under A. Deductions under section 80C. Deductions under this section is allowable. The deduction under this section is allowable to an individual and HUF. This deduction is allowed on payment made in the specified scheme for premium paid to LIC on the life policies of assessee or his wife or her husband or child of the assessee and on the life of a member of family of a HUF. However, the payment should be limited to 10% of the sum assured for the policy. Payment for contribution to Provident Fund governed by the Provident Fund Act under section 80C(2)(4). Contribution to 15-year Provident Fund account by individual in the name of assessee himself, his wife or husband or child, or in the name of any member of HUF. Section 80C(2)(5). Contribution by an employee to recognized Provident Fund or to approved superannuation fund. Section 80C(2)(6) and 2(7). Subscription to any central government security or any notified deposit scheme like Sukanya Samruddhi account in the name of the individual assessee or his girl child, or in the name of the girl child for whom the assessee is the legal guardian. Section 80C(2)(8). Subscription to any NSC notified by the central government under section 80C(2)(9). Subscription to UTI plan. Section 80C(2)(10). Subscription to LIC mutual fund. Section 80C(2)(11) and 80C(4)(a). Contribution to term deposit scheme of National Bank. Section 80C(2)(15). Tuition fees to any university, college, school or other educational institution in India for full-time education for any 2 children of the assessee. Section 80C(2)(17). Amount paid for loan for purchase or construction of residential house. Section 80C(2)(13). This we have seen in chapter income from house property already. Payment of term deposit for fixed period of at least 5 years. Payment of term deposit for a fixed period of at least 5 years with scheduled bank under term deposit scheme 2006. Section 80C(2)(21). Subscription to notified bonds issued by the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, that is NABARD, rural bonds. 80C(2)(22). Deposit in an account under Senior Citizen Savings Scheme 2004. Section 80C(2)(23). 5-year office time deposit, that is 5-year post office time deposit account. Section 80C(2)(14). 24. Subsection 24, that is provision subsection. Contribution to LIC pension fund. Section 80CCC in the case of individual limited to 1,50,000 rupees. Contribution to notified pension scheme. Section 80CCD in case of central government employees 10% of his or her salary, and in case of other employee 20% of his gross total income. The overall limit for allowance of the deduction under section 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD is rupees 1,50,000 only. Besides the deposit by the assessee in new pension scheme is also allowable up to rupees 50,000 in addition to a vow limit of rupees 1,50,000 as per section 80CCD 1B. Contribution to assessee's account by central government or any other employer in the above new pension scheme subject to maximum of 14% of employee's salary in case of central government employee and 10% in case of other employer as per section 80CCD 2. This is to be continued. We will continue this chapter in the next video. If you like this video, then please press the thumbs up icon and subscribe this channel, which is free of cost, and press the bell icon next to it for getting the notification of my next video. We will continue these directions in coming video. Thanks.